Hi there, everybody. It's Jackie here from Stampingjack.com. It's Monday, the 17th of September, which means it's Facebook Live time again. So, welcome. I hope you all enjoyed a lovely weekend. I had a fantastic weekend, I have to say. On Saturday, we had I had my open house to celebrate the launch of the new Autumn Winter Catalogue, and I had an absolutely fabulous time. I had so much fun with all of the lovely, fantastic ladies who came along. I love crafting, I love card making, I love creating. But what I'm finding, the more and more time I'm spending as a demonstrator, that I enjoy even more is all the fabulous people that I meet. And there was just a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, and just I had an absolute ball on Saturday. I was exhausted by the end of it. Because we had two sessions, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. And it had been quite a lot of work to prepare everything, but it was totally worth it. So I'm just going to quickly check my setup and make sure that we're all working and online. Hi Doreen, welcome. Glad you're with us. Let's just check. Here we are. Excellent. So just let me know when you've arrived. Hi Lynn, welcome to you too. I hope you two got home all right on Saturday. It was, as I said, it was just absolutely super to meet you both. And Lynn, your husband is a darling. He's so good to have come along and driven you there and back and waited around. He definitely was a big help to you in terms of the scavenger hunt and everything. So anyway, there's tons to tell you tonight. I've got some prizes, I've got quite a lot of prizes, and obviously I'm going to be going through the make and take projects that we had on Saturday. So first up to tell you is today, thanks Lynn, today Stampin' Up added a whole load of new items to our clearance rack online, which is fantastic. So there's items on there from as little as £1.80. So I'll put the link to that in the description of this video when I'm done, but definitely go check it out. There's some super stuff in it. There's even ink pads on there, some of the retired colours, so that I've never seen that happen before. So definitely get yourselves on there. I'll give you the link and get yourself a bargain. Next up is, yes, Lynn, you're right. Next up is obviously our regular prize draw every week is for everyone who shares the video. So the prize this week is another £5 off voucher off an order in September. And the winner of that this week is Nina Tubman. So congratulations, Nina. Well done. I shall be in touch with you about how to redeem that. So as usual, Lynn and Doreen, you're on the ball already. All you need to do to be entered into the draw, and next week I'll be giving away another £5 off voucher. So all you need to do to be entered into a chance to win is just share the video. That's as simple as that. Do leave me a comment to let me know that you shared, because I can't always see who's shared and who hasn't. So that's that. What else have we got? I'm going to have, when this video is finished, when I'm finished doing this, we're going to have a scavenger hunt, an online scavenger hunt. So how that's going to work is there'll be 5 questions, which I'll post to my Facebook page over the course of this evening. And you have until 6 o'clock tomorrow night, that's 6 p.m. GMT on the 18th of September, to answer the questions. Every correct answer you give gets you an entry into the draw to win a pack of our watercolor pencils. So this is the assortment 2, which was only available during August, so you can't buy these. So these will be the prize, and I will announce that on my Facebook page on, when will I do that? I'll announce it on my Facebook page at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Okay, so you've got roughly 24 hours to do that. But as I say, the questions will post after this video. What else have you got? Yes, also, you've still got time to enter into our big prize draw, which we were talking about on Saturday. So the first prize for this is the Oh Happy Day card making kit. So let me just open this up and show you. So this is a complete kit that has everything you need to make about 20 cards. So you can see you've got instructions, you get a stamp set, an ink block, an ink pad, a block, and all of the die cuts and bases and envelopes and everything you need in here to make 20 cards. So that's the first prize. The second prize, is a pack of our brand new gold foil 12 by 12 sheets. And the third prize is a pack of our galvanized metallic paper. Okay, so the way to enter into that, and you have until 6 o'clock tomorrow. Again, I'll announce this not at the same time, 9 o'clock tomorrow. So there's two ways that you can enter into that draw. One is to place an order between now and 6 p.m. tomorrow, and that will get you 5 entries into the draw. And the second way you can enter is by signing up to one of my product shares, and that will also get you 5 entries. So I mentioned product shares a little while ago, and basically how this works is I'm doing a paper share and a ribbon share, which gives you a quarter of each of the designer series papers in the new Autumn Winter Catalogue. So there's 7 of those, and it costs you £80 plus postage to buy all of them, but you can get a quarter pack of each of them for just £20. And with the ribbon share, again, there are 9 new ribbons, twines and things, and you can get approximately 2 meters of each one for just £15. So all you got to do, I'll put the link into this video again when I'm done. All you've got to do is just visit my blog and sign yourself up for either the paper share or the ribbon share or both, and you'll get 5 entries into the prize draw for each share that you enter. So if you register for both shares, you'll get 10 entries. Also, if you register for both shares, you'll get a quarter pack of our brand new glimmer paper. So let's see what you get. So you get 6 sheets, so 2 each of the colours. Okay. The other prize I need to give away is for our scavenger hunt that we did on Saturday. I haven't had time to go through all your answers yet, but I will do, and I will announce the winner of that also tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So make sure to tune in tomorrow at 9, where I'll be giving away lots of prizes. And the prize for the main scavenger hunt is a pack of the glimmer paper, which is absolutely fab. Okay, so I'll recap that at the end. But for now, let's see, is there anything else I want to tell you about? Clearance rack, product, yeah. So that's all the admin out of the way. Let's get down to some creating. So for our first card, we're going to make this one. Very, very, very simple. And this is using the Merry Christmas to All stamp set. Now this stamp set comes with coordinating dies that cut out the script words as well. But this one just uses the stamp set. It also uses the Blizzard Thinlits die that I used last week. So I've just got a load of those cut out. And I've used the galvanized paper, so you can see that's one of the ones that's in the prize drawer, to cut out some snowflakes. All right, so this is very simple. Let me just get the bits. I will post all of the dimensions and the supplies onto my blog for this card for you. So we've got our pieces, our ink. Okay, so I'm also using a piece of our black foil. That's the new black foil. That's the second prize in our prize draw. So first thing we're going to do is just grab our, so I'm going to do a slightly different greeting on this one. So I'm going to do Christmas, and I want wishes. Okay, and I'm using Stays On ink simply because that is the blackest black of inks. I really like that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to use my black foil just as a guide for my stamping. Okay, and then I'm just going to ink this up. I'm going to get a really good... So normally with our ink pads, we just tap them lightly so we don't squish. But with the Stays On, it's quite a firm pad. So we do want to press reasonably hard and just make sure we've got good ink coverage on there. So So you can see that we do. The other thing is it stays on, dries reasonably quickly, so don't hang about once you've got it on your block. Okay, so, and this ink is quite sticky, so again I recommend just holding it down for the count of about 5 or 6, just to make sure you get a lovely crisp image like that. Okay, and then we're going to do the wishes. Okay. Down here. Hi Jeanette, welcome. There we go. All right, so that's that bit done. Then I'm going to take my snowflakes and I'm going to just arrange them slightly differently on this one. So let's see, what should we do? Should I put one there, and then let's see, I'm going to put some little ones on here. There we go. Okay. But before I do that, I want to do some spritzing. So let's move those to one side. Take our bits off. So I'm going to take my black Stampin' Right marker. I'm going to take the brush tip, and all I'm going to do is just flick the tip in the lid, and that will just create a nice subtle spray. Can you see that? I love using our markers for this because it just gives a added little bit of texture to your cards without adding too much, so it keeps it nice and clean and simple still. So let's see if I can remember where I put everything, where I wanted it. Okay, there we go. All right, so first things first, let's do the foil. So you don't want too much glue on here, because otherwise what happens is when you stick it down, it just oozes out the edge. So I'm just trying to get some out of this bottle because this one's nearly finished. So let's see if I can coax it out. Nope. Let's try another one. Yeah, that's better. So you can see it's just a very small strip on there. It's not a lot. Okay. Place it down. Okay, and then we'll take our glue dots. Oops. Hi Nikki, welcome and thanks for sharing. You should receive your catalogues any day now. I sent them out to you last week. Hi Monica, good to have you with us. Right, there we are, and then we just want a little bit of sparkle. So a large one in there, and then small ones in the others. Oop. You should really use my take your pick tool, but I can't find it. It's around somewhere. It will show up. Forever losing stuff on my craft table. Right, so now we'll just bring in our card base. Glue on the back. So our card base is real red. And there we have it. Really, really simple, contemporary Christmas card. Very, very easy. And like I said, with the Blizzard Thinlits die, you can just cut a load all in one go. So very, very easy to do. So that's card number 1. Done. All right, let's put that stuff back. And let's move on to, I think for the next one, let's do one that's not a Christmas card. So we have this one. And I don't, oh yes, you should be able to see. Can you see the shimmer on those flowers? That's using our new shimmer paint, okay? So this one is using the First Frost stamp set. Just grab the bits. Here we go. Alrighty. So let's start with our piece of, we've got 2 pieces of Very Vanilla. So let's start with our stamping. So first of all, I just need scrap. Okay. And for our stamping, we're going to use crumb cake and fresh fig. So let's start with the fresh fig, and we're going to do Wishing You All the Best. Okay, so we'll stamp that first. And this oval is cut using the stitched shapes framelits. I have to say, this is certainly the staple of my die arsenal, so to speak. I use this all the time. It's fantastic. All right, and then we're going to stamp our... So basically, we're going to create our own background paper with this. Okay, I love doing this. I love doing this. So we're going to start with the crumb cake. Hi, Joyce. Welcome. And I'm just going to stamp the large flower randomly in crumb cake. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp the small flower in the fresh fig. Okay. And again, make sure you stamp off the edges because it gives your paper it makes it look more like you've just cut up a piece of paper. So even if it's just a hint in the corner like that. And then I'm just going to go back in again with my crumb cake, fill in a few gaps. There we go. And I think, yes, let's put a little purple down here. There, happy with that. Okay, so that's all of our stamping done. Can put these away. And now I'm going to bring out my Frost White Sugar Paint. They're coming, Lynn. The elves will be here next, I promise. Okay, so I'm going to give this a really good shake. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to use what's in the lid. Take my sponge dauber and just take a little. You can see I've only got a hint, and then all I'm going to do is just dab it on the flowers. Okay, don't need much, and I'm not being especially precise either because I just want a hint of the shimmer. So if you love the First Frost Designer Series paper, then you'll love this effect. Hi Dina, welcome. Glad you could join us. Here we go. I think that's all of them. There, can you see that? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. There we go. Alrighty, put away. And then we're going to got a little bit of our fresh fig ribbon. Okay, and I'm going to use this to hide our little boo-boo there. So this is the great thing about this. You can place the ribbon anywhere you like, but it's a great way to just, as I say, hide your little mistakes. I'm just going to get some adhesive, 1 second. So, when attaching when attaching the ribbon, okay, what I like to do is I like to put a little bit of snail, whoops, on the back, like so, okay? And then I'll just attach one side, like that, and then just lay it across. And the reason I like to do that is that if I get it wrong, I haven't got it quite in this position I want right now, it's really easy to just reposition it. Because until you press hard down onto the snail, it will just hold it in place for you. And you can do that without damaging the ribbon or anything like that. So it's just makes it super easy. Okay, and then on our sentiment panel, I'm going to take my mini dimensionals I've got here somewhere. Where are my minis? Here they are. And I'm going to put one either side, top and bottom, so that it sits either side of the ribbon. Like so. Okay. And then I've got a piece of Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to just attach this at an angle, but what I want to do is just get it on my card base so I can just get it the way I want it before I start gluing down. Does anybody else find that doing random is so much harder there than doing straight? So I'm just going to put my glue in the center of my panel so they don't get any gluey corners as they stick out. So I'm just going to stick that down onto the Blackberry Bliss, and then we'll just stick the Blackberry Bliss down. Hi Bliss, welcome. You've got a colour named after you. How cool is that? There we go. Alrighty, and there we have it. Card number 2. Not Christmas, any time of year. You could just do this in any sort of colours. But yeah, this paint is fantastic for just adding that lovely touch of shimmer to your projects. So let's put that one away. And now, Lynn, just for you, elves! Yay! I think this was probably one of the favourite cards on Saturday. Everybody just loved these elves, and I have to say, when I look at them, they just make me feel happy. They make me smile. I can't help it. Okay, so let's grab our bits. So we're going to do a bit of colouring with these guys. But you know what? If you're not that into colouring, or you're a little bit nervous of colouring, these images are really, really good because they're just so simple that you don't need a lot of shading or anything complicated like that. You can colour them in with anything, really. Right. I'm just getting my markers. Just 1 second. Okay, so let's do our stamping first. So we've got our outside and our inside. So if you look at him. Well, that's actually a little girl. Isn't she sweet? So let's get our elves. So we want our little boy elf. And we want our cart. And we want our stack of presents. Okay. And we'll come back to our sentiments. So I'm just going to do my stamping first. I'm going to stamp with Memento. We always stamp with Memento when we're going to be using our blends. The rule of thumb is that your ink for stamping should be the opposite of what you're using for colouring. So if you're doing watercolours, your stamped image needs to be alcohol based. If you're using alcohol markers, then your stamped image needs to be water based. Otherwise, when you put the two together, they will mix, and you don't want that. Okay, so let's put our little elf down here. Okay, and then we're going to do his card. And again, to get this lined up, you just need to get right over the stamp, and you'll be able to line that up with his hand, like so. Okay, I'm going to do 3 of those. And I don't want them even, so I'm going to put these at a slight angle. Okay, because this is an elf after all. They're not known for being careful about stuff. Alrighty. And then we got our presents. So again, just get right over and line the bottom of the present up with the top of the card. Like so. They look a bit precarious, don't they? Alrighty. And then we're going to take our elf again. And we're going to stamp him on the inside. Alright, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So we've got wishing you everything on your list. So I'm going to stamp that on a scrap. Again, using the Memento Black. There we go, and then punch that out using our 1.5 inch circle punch. Oh dear. Whoops. Never mind. We'll do it on the... No, it's gotten on both sides. So let's do that again and try not to punch it out into my ink pad. Okay. There we go. There. Did all right, and then we'll bring our inside again, and we're going to stamp the and more on the inside. There we go. All right, so that's all of our stamping done. We'll close up our ink pad, put that over there, and then we'll do a bit of colouring. Okay, so like I said, the images on these are really, really simple. So for my elf, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to colour him, and it's quite a small image, so I'm just going to use the bullet tip of my blends, okay? And when you're colouring with your blends, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but if you just try it out, if you just put a dot of colour onto your paper, you'll see that it's spread slightly. So when you're doing an image, don't colour right the way up to the edge. Okay, you can go back in afterwards, and like I said, I'm not doing any shading or anything on this guy. Doesn't need it. Okay. And you could do this with regular markers. If you used water-based markers, you just need to use like a StazOn or something with it. Or you could use pencils, whatever you like, really. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same on the inside. So you can see I'm just using small strokes, not going right to the edge. Okay, because otherwise it will bleed outside the line, and I don't really want that. Okay. Very, very easy to do. Could you imagine you just stamp a load of these and then just sit and colour them at your leisure? Now, there is a coordinating die set. There is a coordinating die set that goes with this that cuts these out as well. And it also cuts out the images that are on the paper, so it's fantastic. Now, I've got another one pretty much done. One I prepared earlier, so you don't... Do I? Yeah, we'll come back to it. So, just a quick tip for their faces, okay? I find that sometimes the ink will smear if you try and colour it all over. So all I'm going to do is I'm using my Petal Pink to just give them some little rosy cheeks and then some detail in their ears, okay? and I find that works just fine with these guys. Okay, so that's that. And then for the cards, I am going to do a little bit of blending on the cards. So let me just show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my dark and light soft suede. So Lynn, you've got a couple of stamps that won't stay on your blocks. Are they the see-through stamps like these, or the rubber stamps like these? Okay, so what I'm going to do is just where there are lines, I'm going to use that as a guide for where to shade, because I am no expert when it comes to colouring, okay? And then I know that I'm going to add a little bit of shading along the side here, like this. So that's my dark. And then I'm going to come in with my light, and I've used my bullet tip rather than my brush tip, and then I'm coming in with my brush tip and just colouring over that and blending it a little. Okay, and then we just do the same for the other two. Don't get too hung up on this stuff unless you're a proper artist, in which case go for it. But you know, most of us are, we're card makers. We just like things to look pretty, and we don't want to spend hours and hours and hours. So there we go. See-through stamps. Lynn, when see-through stamps stop sticking on your blocks, that usually means that they've got like residue or dirt or dust or oils on there. So the best thing for you to do is to just take them and run them under some warm, slightly soapy water. So what you can do is just get a small tub of warm water, tiny little bit of liquid detergent in there, and just give them a quick rinse, and then lay them on the side on some kitchen towel or a tea towel or something like that to dry off, and they should be absolutely fine. It's worth giving your blocks a wash at the same time. That's usually what it is when your clear stamps don't stick. Okay, so let's do some presents, okay? So again, I'm just going to be quite quick with this. Okay, and I'm going to do all of them the same just for ease. So you get the idea. Okay, some dots. So this is dark granny apple green that I'm using here. Okay, and then let's use some red. We need some red on here. So I've got my dark poppy parade. You're welcome, Lynn. That's what I'm here for. If I can help, I will. If I don't know the answer, I can find out, usually. It's the great thing about crafters. They're such a helpful lot, and they're always willing to share their tips and ideas. That's why it's so much fun being part of the community. We're all lovely people, basically. Right, nearly done. Ooh, gone outside the line there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my colour lifter, which is this one, and just use it to pick up that colour. Right, let that work on there for a second. Trying to colour this through the camera, which is ever so slightly a challenge. All right, and then we've got a little detail on our elf's hat. I'm just going to add a wink of Stella. Okay. Like so. And same for the inside. Okay, can you see that? There we go. Nice little bit of shimmer on there. Okay, so now we're ready to assemble our card. So what I've got is a shaded spruce card base and then a real red layer. So we're just going to attach those two. I'm trying to finish off my glue rather than opening a new one. But there's not a lot left in there. I'm having to really coax it out. Okay, there we go. And let's bring in our layer. So what I've got here is just a small strip of the Coordinating Designer Series paper. And you probably can't see that on the video. But this white here is flocked. So it's got a lovely, lovely texture. And quite a lot of the images, quite a lot of the sheets have one side has got flocked detail on it somewhere. And then the other side is printed. Okay, so I'm just going to stick that across the top. Like so. I'll even try and get it straight. There we go. And then we've got our sentiment. Just going to pop some dimensionals on that. There we go. And then just stick that down onto our red layer. There we go. And then we'll just put our other layer inside. There we go. Oh, I forgot one bit. I'll show you now. Very important. Is whenever you're colouring an image, it's always worth taking, I find, that's mint mascara, find either a light blue or a light grey. I'm just looking for my pool party, which is here somewhere. There, pool party, okay. There we are. Light pool party. And all you want to do is just take your marker and just put a little bit along the bottom there, and that just grounds the image and it just looks a lot better, not like they're not just floating in midair. Okay, there we go. Makes quite a big difference to your image, actually. Makes it stand out a little bit more as well. So there we go. That's card number 3, your favourite, Lynn. And I have to say, as I say, every time I look at these elves, they just make me smile. They're just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Right. So for our final card, I'm just going to move some of this out of the way. Our final card we've got now is this one, okay? But I have to say now that this is not part of the design. During the day, this fell onto an ink pad, so the one we make is not going to look like that. But actually, it kind of looks kind of cool, doesn't it? But you'd never be able to, well, I wouldn't be able to deliberately make that happen. So. Okay, so the stamp set we're going to use for this one is the Peaceful Noel stamp set. Okay, I really like this. I love the images, and I think this is, again, another stamp set that you could use at other times of the year, not just Christmas. And it has a coordinating sprig punch. And again, I think this is just a lovely little element that you can add to your cards, not just for Christmas. So let's grab our bits. So the colours we're using for this card, so the inks we need are Merry Merlot, Grey Granite and Tranquil Tide. Okay, so let's just, and then what we've got is, we've got a Merry Merlot card base, which is cut the long way. And then we've got 2 pieces of Sahara sand, which we're going to use for our stamping. We also need a scrap here. Okay, and then we'll do the other bits in a minute. So let's do our stamping first. So first of all, I'm going to stamp the Noel onto a scrap, okay, using Merry Merlot. Okay, and then I'm going to take this little detail here, this little line of dots, and stamp that underneath. Like so, and then I'm just going to punch it out using our everyday label punch. Okay, I've punched it too far up, so I'm just going to trim the bottom a little. And then it will fit in perfectly. So we'll just line that up like so. Punch it out. Okay. And then on the inside, I'll do the inside first. I'm just going to stamp "Fill the Season with Happiness." Just across the center. Okay, and then we come to, I'll put those to one side, and then we come to our outside. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tag. I'm going to take a pencil, which I have here, and I'm just going to very lightly, I'm going to have my tag here. I'm just going to very lightly draw around the edge. Okay, and this will just give me a guide for my stamping. So you can see I've done it very lightly. It's not, doesn't need to be complete. It just gives me an idea. Okay, and now put that away. So now we're going to use, let's just get some blocks here. Okay, so we've got our berry outline. So two-step stamping going on. We've got our berry infill, and then we have our frond, for want of a better word. So I'm going to start by stamping. Hi, Cat, welcome. Yeah, you can catch up at the end. Anyway, you were here for it. You know what these are. Right, so first of all, I'm going to stamp my berry outlines in grey granite. Okay, all the way around. And I want one here. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp the infill in Merry Merlot. So just line it up over the top, like so. Don't worry if they don't line up perfectly. It's not that kind of look to this card. So and by the time we've added the other elements and the other bits and pieces, you won't really notice it. Okay, so now we've got our tranquil tide, and I'm going to take my little frond and I'm going to use that to basically fill in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is stamp and then stamp again behind, so you get a bit more detail and depth. Okay, like that. I want it nice and full. Okay, so I end up with something like that, and then I just bring my Noel back in and make sure that I don't have any gaps that I don't want, and I'm pretty happy with that actually. I think I might put, no, I'm going to leave it. All right, so then I'm going to take a little, while I think of it, I'm going to take a little bit of Wink of Stella. I'm just going to add that to the berries. And this is where, if you've missed and you want to fill in a little bit, your Wink of Stella will spread the ink. so you can blend it a little bit. Just like that. Can you see that? Yep, I am in shot, as they say. Okay, and then just to clean off your Wink of Stella, all you do is get a piece of scrap and just brush it on there until it becomes clear again. Okay, now we've got some copper foil and some vellum. And using my sprig punch, I'm going to just punch out one of each of these. Okay. Of course, you could add as many as you like, but I like the texture, but I didn't want too much because we've got quite a few things going on here. So we've got this, and then we've got a piece of our, where is it? Beautiful ribbon. Look at that. One side is Merry Merlot, and the other side has got a copper sheen to it. So this is just perfect for this card. So I want a piece, so I'm just going to trim that. So I find when doing cards like this, they've got a lot of elements to them. It's always best to just play around and just place everything before you stick down. Okay, so that you can tell if you need a little extra or whatever. All right, and then we're going, but the first thing we want to do is add some copper thread. So let's move these, bring in my snail. And I'm just going to add some snail across the back here where the label is going to sit. Okay, and then I'm going to take my thread, and I want quite a large, what we're creating is this loop in at the back here. See that? So I want it quite large. So what I'm going to do is just around my open fingers. Yeah, can you see that? I'm just going to wrap it about 4 or 5 times. Okay, and then trim. Can you see that? So now what I'm going to do is take this. It's getting a bit messy, but I don't mind. I quite like it messy for this. And I'm going to take this end and just attach it here. Okay, and then I'm going to play around with my loops and just randomly stick it down, because I don't want a circle. I just want some bits poking out from behind. Okay, like so. Just, as I say, just a bit of extra texture. And then I'm going to take my ribbon and just stick that down over the top, like so. Okay, and then I can take my vellum and my copper foil. I'm just going to pop a quick glue dot on here and pop that down there, and then this bit down here. Let's make sure I'm happy with that arrangement. Do you know, I think I'm going to put a little bit of vellum up that end. So let's get my punch. Whoop. And a glue dot. Just somewhere here on my roll. There we go. Pop a little bit in there. Yeah. That's good. All right, now before I put this down, I'm going to do some spritzing. So I've got my, here somewhere, where is it? Here we are. So I've got my Tranquil Tide, ooh, that wouldn't come out right, would it? Stampin' Right marker. So I'm going to do like I did on the earlier card. So you take the brush end and you just flick it in the lid. So flick. And I don't want much, I just want a little bit of texture, just like that. Okay, I'm going to take my sentiment panel and I'm just going to stick that down using my dimensionals. So it sits above all of that texture underneath, like so. Okay, and then we'll bring back in our card base and I'm just going to glue this to the front. Very easy. So whilst there's a lot of texture to this card, it's actually pretty easy to put together. The difficulty, as always, is just deciding what to put where. There we go. Pop that down. Alright, and now we're just going to come back to our inside. So what I have is a little strip of the Coordinating Designer Series paper. So you've got the Merry Mallow and the Sahara Sand and the Touch of Copper in there. So I'm just going to pop a bit of glue on there and just place it along the bottom like that. What's the name of the brush, Dina? This one. If it's this is the Wink of Stella. If it's this, it's the Stampin' Right marker. Hope that answers your question. There we go. We'll pop that down. And there we go. Beautiful. Alrighty, so there we have it. They are the 4 cards from Saturday. Let me bring them back in for you. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and now it's time for you guys to do your bit. I need you to vote and let me know which one is your favorite. So you've got the Merry Christmas, the Frosted Florals, the Elves, or the Noel. I'm just going to do it like that so you can see them all. Okay, whilst you do that, let me just remind you of a couple of things. So obviously, straight after this post, after I've finished, they are pretty simple, Jeanette. They are pretty simple. I love to make simple cards. So straight after this, I've finished here. The online scavenger hunt will start. So there'll be 5 questions over the next hour or so. And to enter, all you need to do is to leave your answer in the comments. And the person with the most correct answers will win a pack of the assortment 2 of our watercolor pencils. These were the ones that were available in August and you can't buy them anymore. So for every correct answer you give, you'll get an entry. And I will announce the winners here on my Facebook page tomorrow at 9 p.m. All right. Also tomorrow at 9 p.m, I will announce the winners of the scavenger hunt that we did on Saturday. And the winner of that will win a pack of our glimmer paper. And also being announced next or tomorrow at 9 o'clock will be the winners of our main prize draw. So the main prize draw, the first prize is this Oh Happy Day. Fran, it includes the US. That's absolutely fine. You can join in. So the first prize is the Oh Happy Day card kit. Okay, this is fantastic. Got stamp set, block, ink pad, block, the whole lot. Okay. Second prize is a pack of our 12 by 12 black foil sheets. And third prize is a pack of our, is a pack of our new galvanized metallic paper. Now, the ladies that were here on Saturday, there were all sorts of things that they could do to enter, but you can still enter, and there's 2 ways to enter. One is, that's for the big prize draw. One is to place an order with me before 6 o'clock tomorrow. I'll give you the link to my online shop when I do this post. So if you place an order with me by 6 o'clock tomorrow, you'll get 5 entries into the draw. The other way to get entries is to sign up for my product shares. So if you sign up for my paper share, you'll get 5 entries. If you sign up for the ribbon share, you'll get 5 entries. And again, I'll post a link to all that for you. So then what I'll do is I'll collate all the entries that I've got and I will draw the winners tomorrow at 9 o'clock here on my Facebook page. The usual weekly draw is still running. So what you need to do to enter into that, and the prize this week is a £5 off your order during September, and I think that one is only for the UK, I'm afraid, Fran. So to do that, all you need to do is share the video. A reminder that the winner this week is Nina, so she wins herself a £5 money off voucher. And the final thing to remind you of is that today Stampin' Up added lots of lovely new items to the clearance rack from prices as little as £1.80, and there are ink pads and ink refills and markers, embellishments, all sorts of fantastic stuff on there. So do make sure to check that out. Get your order in by Monday and you'll be entered into the draw as well. So that's it for tonight. Thank you all for watching. It's been a pleasure crafting with you again, and I will see you all again next week. Bye.